Our special guest today, and I'm delighted to say I'm in the studio with Adam Thompson. Adam, how are you today?
Yeah, good mate. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, mate. You're welcome. So Adam, for those of you who are sort of like just tuning in, Adam is the sort of what would you like? Founder, inventor, creator?
I wouldn't say inventor because like it was based off a already existing concept.
Yeah.
So I got the inspiration from Humans of New York, and then just really wanted to do something similar in Liverpool, equivalent. So
Okay, so the page is Humans of Liverpool,
Yeah.
which is it's a page on social media on Instagram which you've started. So just for obviously for someone who's just tuning in now, someone who doesn't know, for the listener, could you just sum it up and what is Humans of Liverpool?
Yeah, of course, mate. So basically, I just go around the street talking to strangers, really, in Liverpool city centre, and just get their portrait, have a little chat with them.
Because you're a photographer, aren't you? You take pictures of them and
you
say portrait.
Yeah, I would say a photographer, I suppose. I'm just really into social documentary and just love telling people stories, really. And I guess it all started when I used to just walk through Liverpool taking pictures of anything, landscapes and stuff. And I just thought, you walk past these people every day and you don't really know loads about them.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to tell people stories, really. So.
Brilliant. So when you say, in terms of like walking through the streets of Liverpool and you want to know about social stories and that, would you say that's sort of what made you want to do it? You sort of like, are you curious? You sort of like want to know what's going on more than the average person would?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm always sort of really aware of like people around me, and especially the characters. So particularly the people that are there every day, like homeless and buskers and sort of the like. So. Yeah, that's what drove it, really.
So you say you want to see what people are like, and obviously I've got your page up here now, and obviously I'm going through it, and as I was going through it, one of the sort of the posts, if you like, that really sort of caught my eye was, and I'm sure many people can relate to this, is on Church Street, the man who stands there, and obviously he comes across quite a quirky sort of character. He doesn't really know what he's sort of doing to the average person. People are like, oh, look at him, let's give him some money or whatever. Obviously he doesn't know what he's doing. But you have actually done a piece on him. And he's actually got quite an interesting story behind him. So how did this one come about?
So he was one of the first people I sort of looked to interview. Sort of in a way an inspiration for the project, I guess, because like I said, you walk past him as an example. You walk past people every day, and like you just want to know more about them. And he's kind of works with what he's got.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say he has much maybe musical talent, but he's definitely a performer. He definitely has some kind of like energy and charisma.
Yeah.
And the main thing I wanted to do was just really to understand why he does what he does, because he's out there every day, come rain or shine, like in the snow and everything.
Yeah.
And it turns out that. Basically, he does it because his partner is not very well.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to look after her, and all the money goes to that.
And to the average person walking the street, you would have no clue that was the case, would you? Which I think is what's really good about this page that you've got going, is it offers an insight into what people wouldn't normally expect. So obviously, if you're walking past this man on Church Street playing the plastic guitar, not once would you think that there was that sort of backstory behind it, would you? So I think that's another great sort of aspect of what you've got going on. So one thing I want to come on to now is, obviously I'm looking at the page. You've got over 3,000 followers. Did you expect it to get this much of a following? Because you've not been doing it for that long, have you, in all honesty?
No, yeah, it's been great, to be fair. The reception's been amazing. The amount of messages I get off people saying, they love it. And, for example, Pete on Church Street, people will say, do you feel like they know him now? And they'll go up to him and have a chat, which is great.
Yeah.
It really, like, humanises these people and makes people think, oh, yeah, well, they've got, problems and, and sort of the same sort of everyday things everyone else goes through, and just makes them relate to them, I guess.
It can, and a lot of people have related to it, because you've got a very wealthy following now. So when you first started it, did you foresee this sort of snowball effect of how many people would sort of jump onto it and get in touch and sort of think, this is something that I'm interested in, and this is something that I want to learn more about?
No, obviously I'd hoped that it would, but I mean, I was just really putting it out there just because I enjoyed it personally, and I enjoy going around every day and just chatting to people, and it's great for me, obviously, because I want to get into journalism. I really would like to get into maybe documentary filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm into photography right now, and it's good for the people, and it's good for me because it's great exposure to from a selfish point of view. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Of course, yeah. So in terms of obviously you've got over 40 posts here about all documenting different sort of people, different personalities, different backgrounds. But if you could pick one to say which one really sort of stands out to you and like, you know, is your favourite sort of story that you've sort of gathered over the last, what is it, about 9 months you've been doing, or 6?
Only 6.
Oh,
yeah,
6
since
months,
August,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what sort of one stands out for you then, Adam?
Definitely Imelda, who she's a student nurse that I interviewed, and she ran 10k for 100 consecutive days whilst being a student nurse. So she'd do like a 12-hour shift, come home, like, you know, get a gear on and go out running for 10k every day. And like people like that, it's just so inspirational, and they don't get their story told often enough. You know, the media focuses on, you know, people with wealth and politicians, and but these everyday people who are doing amazing things, you know, they deserve to, you know,
have their little time in the spotlight. Their recognition.
At least 15 minutes of fame.
A lot of people, yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I've got this one that you've mentioned. Then I've actually got that up right now. You know, and I'm reading the comments. People are commenting saying, this is my favourite post to date, I can't get over how much I love this. People are really engaging with it, and for you as the sort of creator of this must make you feel very good, because you're sort of giving, it's not only satisfaction for yourself because this is what you want to start doing, but you're also like making other people happy by viewing this. How does that make you feel when you see comments like that?
Yeah, it's great. It's really rewarding. It's part of the reason I did it, really. Yeah, it's brilliant, and she's just a really lovely person, to be honest, so it was a pleasure to tell her story.
One other thing I want to come on to really quickly before we wrap up the interview is there's a particular story about about war letters, and could you just elaborate a little bit on this story about the war letters?
Yeah, of course. So a lady from California messaged me. She liked my page and just messaged me and said, I've got these letters, 200 letters from World War II, from a Scouse soldier to basically the lover's life in New York, sort of chronicling their affair, their just back and forth. And there's even letters from like the family members and their mum, and it's just this big, like, such full of character, this big fully formed thing. And yeah, it's been amazing. I shared it on social media. People really enjoyed it. I've had loads of messages in about it, so
yeah, again I'm on that particular post now, and obviously you posted this early on in December, and the amount of people that really engaged with it and have said so many nice things to you, it really must make you feel really humbled in a way that you can offer this platform for people to engage with stuff like this, because as you mentioned earlier, these are things that you wouldn't think and people wouldn't, you know, engage with normally. So I think it's a great sort of way, isn't it, like when you're getting all these comments. So obviously, just to wrap it up now for you, thank you so much for this interview, by the way. It's been great having you on. What's the ultimate aim? What's the ultimate ambition for you to sort of like carry this on? Do you want to sort of make it get bigger? What do you want to do personally? Where do you see yourself going in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to grow it more. I've got plans to possibly turn it into a video series.
Oh, brilliant!
Which I think could be brilliant.
That sounds great, yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, I've only got 40 posts at the moment, but maybe in another 6 months to a year, it would be great to do maybe even a book. You know, definitely a zine, definitely a zine or zine, or however you say it. But definitely do something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways you can sort of grow it, but I just want to keep telling people's stories, really, and just getting them out there, because I think it's really important. So.
Well, that's fantastic. Obviously, you mentioned there that, you know, where you're going to be in like a few years' time, 3 years' time down the line, where you've been doing this for 6 months and you've got over 3,000 followers. So I think it's definitely on the right track. Adam, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. It's been great. It's been great, an insight into this page. If you haven't followed it already, it's Humans of Liverpool on Instagram. It featured on the Independent Liverpool, Thompson Photography. Give them a follow. Great. We're going to be putting it on the Instagram page later on. So yeah, Adam, thank you so much for coming in.
Cheers, mate.